GM everyone. Nice meeting you guys again, and I hope we get to start things from here.
All right. So over to you. I'll be handing over to you, so you could start off.
Okay. Do we still need to wait for one or two members, or we can?
Okay, I think we could start. They will definitely meet us wherever we are because of the timing is not so long, so we could start off.
Okay. All right. Um. Good morning, everyone. My name is Noah, and I'm the dev lead for Xion Nigeria, and today I'll be talking to you about Xion, how to integrate Xion, what Xion is all about, and many more. But I want to make sure that this class is very, very interactive. And I think last time we had the session, that was I think 2 months ago. I enjoyed the class, and I hope I can see for today that I would also enjoy today's class. Okay, let me share my screen. Uh, Give me a minute. I want to turn off all distractions. Okay. So confirm if you can see my screen. Please, if you can see my screen, send a reaction. All right. Okay. So welcome to Xion. But before I start, right, I want to ask a few questions, and let's see how we go. Sorry. All right. So, who here has ever tried to buy an NFT or use a crypto wallet? It's an open class, please. You can unmute and let's have a conversation. All right. So for those who have, right, what's like the most confusing or frustrating part? It's an open question.
Sorry, sir, you said?
What do you ask?
You said you bought an NFT before. You tried to use a crypto wallet. All right. So what's like the most confusing or frustrating part?
Actually, I would say for me, it's just only the because we are from Nigeria, so I would say it's only the exchange palaba or wahala that I would say. That's my only challenge. So those are the seed phrase and the rest of them, but account abstraction, some of the application does account abstraction.
All right. Any other person?
Simply, I didn't hear what you asked.
So I said, who has ever tried to buy an NFT or use a crypto wallet?
Actually, my own, the NFT that, not that I've bought an NFT, but should I say that, tested like NFT buying testnet, like on testnet projects. So that I can, so that.
All right. So I think we have two answers, right? So that means I would okay, yeah, I would assume that the rest of us here have not tried buying an NFT or using a crypto wallet, right? And then what do you think would be the reason why we have not bought? I'm saying we now in general, because I'm trying to be among the people, right? So yeah, why do you think we couldn't buy NFTs or we have stereotypes towards crypto wallets? For those of us that
I think
haven't bought NFTs. Yeah, saying something.
I think the process is large because of this seed phrase, wallet stuff, and the rest of them. So some people are getting it confused. That's why a lot of people are not making use of crypto yet.
All right. Chuku. Mhm.
Okay, Jimbo.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think the reason why, personally for me, is because the process for buying NFT, like for you to fund the wallet, then you should now go to OpenSea. Maybe the people that own the NFT have a
Mhm.
specific token, the native token they are using. Now you now have to convert it to another token. Then if you come to like normal decentralized wallets, like not like Binance or Bybit,
Yes.
you also need to, let's say, if the NFT, if they are using something like a let's say Dia or Polygon network or other network
Yes.
that is not Ethereum, or even if
Yes.
it is Ethereum, you have to
Mm.
kind of go and do external swap or even do external transfer, which if it's Ethereum, it will cost you a lot of money and even a lot of stress. So I think that's the main downside that why people are not buying it.
All right. I think your answer pretty much sums everything up, right? Okay. Tech Explorer.
What I would say is that in NFT, apart from buying it,
Mm.
majority of the NFT are being so are being deployed in Ethereum blockchain, which makes it the gas fee like the gas fee is much. Like for you to acquire an
Mm.
NFT or maybe the Ethereum blockchain, the gas fee is much. Maybe because of the gas fee, so because of the gas fee, it's not like some people just leave it, they don't buy it. And number two is that, should I say, in terms of why many have not gotten it, is that the system, the blockchain system is still adopted. So they are still
Mm.
going, there's not much.
Okay. Correct. Any other person wants to say anything? All right. So yeah. So what if? Yes, I have a new what if now. What if we've seen the challenges, right? Now, what if you could access all these things in Web3 system, like owning your NFT or joining some kind of communities or doing anything you want to do as regards the Web3 ecosystem. And it is just as easy as logging into your Instagram account or paying with your credit card or signing in with your Google. What if there is something like that? So yes, Zion is the what if. Zion is making sure that you can access your Web3 assets in form of NFTs. You can sign up for your applications, get your wallets, and do many more things with just one single step. You don't need to save your seed phrase. You don't need to all those boha. It's not going to be your problem. Zion like handles everything with something called abstraction. But before I go deep down into abstraction, I think uh, I still have one more scenario to talk about, right? Okay. So I have, let me check. I think the last time I was using, it was one of my friends that was in class last time. He's not here today. I hope he joins soon. So yeah, I would be using Johnson. I think Johnson has been stalking me on social media. So I'm using Johnson as an example today. Um, so yeah, imagine Johnson wants to buy a car, a digital car, in quotes, and he wants to use like of course there are like many platforms, right? Many places where you could get this. The first super technical thing we will do first and foremost is in conventional web 3 system is to get a crypto wallet. That's like the first thing is going to do, right? And the funny thing is after getting the crypto wallet, he gets like say that is 12 seed phrase or 24 character seed phrase for the wallet, right? And so from getting the wallet to storing your seed phrase to now funding the wallet and like doing a whole lot of things. Now, at one point, Johnson might think, oh, this is good, right? Since it's just one car he wants to buy. But imagine, oh, at the end of the day, FiTech community now decides to like give Johnson say $300,000, right? And Johnson wants to like buy Johnson wants to get more digital cars. So let's use the word NFT again, right? At which point Johnson is at risk. And the reason why Johnson is at risk is if he by mistake misplace or forgets his seed phrase, then the money that FiTech sent to him or gave him is gone. Now Johnson is in debt. Johnson is in debt and then trying to sort out things with the FiTech community. And I know George Stephen would hold Johnson by the neck, right? Now, I like that. Now, another thing is for Johnson now, right? Aside he losing his seed phrase and losing access to wallet, there is we know how it is already annoying in Nigeria currently, whereby you are trying to like withdraw from the POS and they tell you, or not even the POS, you are in a supermarket and then you're buying a goods from supermarket, so you're buying bread and you're buying some toiletry, right? And then they end up telling you to add 15 naira charges. And you're like, why should I add 15 naira charges since basically I'm paying you, and then you guys are from the service and I'm still paying you like surcharges for your own service, right? So in this case, that 15 naira is the gas fee, right? And Johnson will be thinking, oh, he wants to buy a digital Lambo for 100K, although you can't buy a digital Lambo for 100K. Let's think that scenario, right? He wants to buy a digital Lambo for 100K, that's US dollars, and then at the end of the day, he's going to pay gas fee or surcharges for about 10,000 and like 15,000 US dollars. Imagine the imagine that furiousness, right? Johnson will be angry based on the fact that he's paying for the digital Lambo, he's paying 100K, and then why did you have to collect 15,000 when it's not taxes? It's just based on the fact that they are selling you the Lambo and they need to add 15,000 US dollars extra, right? So that's like annoying. It's going to be like a bozo moment for like everyone. And like, okay, this doesn't make sense, right? Now, with Zion, you don't need to do all these things, right? Johnson with Zion now, Johnson would not have to keep his seed phrase. Johnson is not at the risk of losing his seed phrase, so even paying gas fee and whatnot. The reason being the fact that Zion blockchain handles everything. So Johnson can buy his digital Lambo, can buy three at 100K each, and then not even think about gas fee or such charges. And then let's move away from the Web3 world. Imagine when I think we could still imagine when Nigeria was quite better, like the economy was good, right? This is when you enter the supermarket and buy things without even thinking about surcharges, right? But now when you enter the supermarket, they get to tax you for pay VAT. You get to also pay in quotes their surcharges or their gas fee, right? And then at the end of the day, say you're buying something of 1,000 naira, at the end of the day, you're going to be paying 1,100 naira or 1,200 naira, depending on what you bought and then quality and all that, right? So Zion is taking us back to when the economy was good, basically. I don't know if I am making sense. If you have questions, you can hit me up. Should I continue? All right. Okay. So basically, Zion is trying to make sure that life is easier for the developers and the users, right? So let's talk about chain abstraction. Basically, um, chain abstraction is the process of removing. This is it on my screen. I think let me share this so everyone can tag along. I think we're all using our system, right? So this should. All right. So check this out. Um, so basically, chain abstraction is the process of removing complexities, right, that interfere with the user experiences on the Web3 ecosystem. So Zion is a layer one blockchain purpose used to abstract away the complexities of Web3 technology. And then with the examples I already gave, right, Zion is making sure that signing in or basically Zion is taking away the in quotes connect wallet, right? In quotes the connect wallet part of the Web3 whereby you have to sign up for because I want to use OpenSea, I have to like sign up for my MetaMask and then run my MetaMask and then go back to OpenSea and then try to connect the wallet. So that process is very, very long, very, very long. And we all know that at one point it could be boring for the user experience, right? And then how does Zion achieve all this? Um, this is basically Zion makes sure that it compresses everything into one solution, right? Which is just one user login with their email or your Google account. Now, it may seem at the moment it might seem unrealistic, right? But we're going to get there. So yeah, Zion's key highlight is chain abstraction, meta accounts, signature abstraction, and device abstraction and all that. And then one funny thing is we know that with your D app currently, most of the time, you can only access it on one device. Yes or no? It's simple question, please. Uh-huh. And with Zion, I can the way you can sign in with your Facebook on different devices, right? I can do that with Zion. Say I have I am on my phone and I can't once I forget my passphrase, I can't sign up, I can't sign in to my Phantom wallet on my system because I can't remember my secrets and all that. No, Zion takes all those things away. So no more bullshitting and all that. Right. So this is it, device abstracting. By removing the need for users to directly manage private keys, users are able to interact with the application seamlessly across devices. So that makes it easy for you. Interoperability can be used across all connected ecosystems and all that, right? Then yeah, this is the use. These are some of the use cases, and then I would also give you. I'll show you guys an example of a project on mainnet, right? Using design abstraction. So basically, you can use the design abstraction or meta account library to build your Venmo app, your digital banking, your creator economy, your Web2 DAOs, and even gaming, right? So you can do this everywhere. And then there are cases whereby you have to connect your Apple account or your Google account with some of your games, right? So that you don't end up losing it. But with Zion, you don't even have to think about this because everything is already encompassed, right? So this is Zion Meta account, basically Web2 logins. So Zion is targeting, Zion's main target is the Web2 approach. And what does it mean? Zion is making sure that crypto doesn't feel like crypto. Now, when I show you, I think this, let's see, Zion market. Okay, platform. Yeah. Sorry, can you guys see my screen? Okay, but before we go, right, this is my testnet in quotes account, right? And then this is where I would have my fund. So this is like my own mini wallet, or this is my own account whereby I can do interactions from here. The need for the way it is in the what's it called now? Currently in the Web3 ecosystem, whereby at the end of the day, you end up having like multiple wallets, right? Say for example, you are trying to sign into your Phantom, and then you forget your seed phrase, and then you have to open another one, and then you forget your seed phrase, and then you have to open another one. And like you're having like multiple wallet accounts. I know people that have Phantom, MetaMask, Kepler, and like at the end of the day, you're like storing wallet apps on your phone. Why? Because you are trying to make sure that you do not lose at the end and all that, right? So basically, this is the home for everything in design blockchain. As you can see, I have two Zion, and we'll talk about moving forward. Maybe in our subsequent classes, we'll talk about the equivalents and like the units of Zion and the new Zion and all that. So when you're working with Zion and you're trying to like do the math, you don't end up doing um you don't end up doing the wrong thing. Okay. So basically this is Zion market, and it's a prediction application, right? So because I have my account in the background. Yes. So if you were here yesterday on Zion Market, and then I think there was a prediction about the Man United game. I mean, I was watch football first and foremost. All right, yeah, there was a prediction about the Man United game with Tottenham, right? So if you were here yesterday and then you predicted that Tottenham would win, probably you would be a millionaire by now, right? In Naira. So yeah, basically that is what it does. So you can see, will Trump annex Greenland on or before the end of 2025? Buy yes, buy no, and all that. But that's not where we're going to. This is where we're going to. Signing. Now, another thing is Zion is also taking away the fact that we are going the Web2 approach, right? We're also taking away email and password logins. Because at the end of the day, email and password logins is also susceptible to acts, and then maybe even misplacing or forgetting your password, right? And then at the end of the day, passwords are like not really the deal when it comes to Web3. So, but like by the Web2 approach, this is what I'm talking about. When I click on sign in, right, it takes me to my settings.pont.com. This is where, so now, you know how when you click on login with Google, right? I'm not talking, don't think about this yet at the moment. Let's go the normal Web2 route. Can anyone suggest an application that we can sign in with Google? Be it in chat or something. Give me. What applications can we sign with Google? Think. You should suggest. This is an open class, please. We're supposed to be teaching ourselves. Oh, someone says you can't see my screen. Sorry. How about now? Okay. If they hack my Google account, please hold Richard ransom. I beg you. Okay. Oh, this is a Web3 project, right? Yes. Richard, can you talk about this more? Let's see. Okay, social login. All right, makes more sense. Mm, I don't know why it's taking time, but I think my network. Mm, hold on. Let's do it again. We try. Mm, Load third one. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, can hear you.
Okay, there should be a pop-up where you kind of approve the sign.
I can't.
I don't know why it's not there.
Sorry, you're not clear. Sorry, you're not clear enough.
How about now?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, there should be a pop-up where you approve the
Yes, yes, yes.
sign.
There's there's a pop-up, but it's not
Okay.
loading. I don't know. It's let's use maybe. Okay. So it was a VPN issue. Continue. Mm, Right. So easy.
Yeah.
I'm already signed in. So now
Wow.
with this is it. So with the Zion abstraction module, right? Similar to the same thing. Now I can select either of the applications, right? But currently I used my Google account. You could use your email and then sign in. But note that Zion is ZK compliant, so ZK is zero knowledge, right? Nobody's saving your email address or whatnot. Okay, so this is my contract. Okay, sorry, this is the contract for Zion Market. So contract, my address, sorry. Um, so if I allow this, right, then I would be able to use my what is it? I'll be able to use this guy on Zion Market. So now this is it. Signing me in, and then boom, voila, here we have it. We have everything. Um, Currently, I don't have money at the moment, so I need you to like send me funds so we can stake on Zion Market, and then if it goes, these people will not see me again. So basically, this is just to show you how it works, right? And then so let's go back to our documentation. So Web2 logins, versatile device support, session keys, and all that. I think we've spoken about the use cases, multi-factor authentication, and whatnot. So do I need to do this? All right. This is just a workflow, and you guys can check it out. I think I already sent the link in the chat, so you guys can check it out and see how you can do your things and how it works. Detection and tech delivery, boom, boom, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yes. So yeah, basically with Zion, Zion belongs to the Cosmos ecosystem. We're familiar with EVMs, right? Cosmos directory. Sorry, can you guys hear me? It's supposed to be an open
Yes, we
class.
can.
Let's so yeah, please can I suggest that everyone unmute their mic and then let's talk. We 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 are not it's not a one-man thing, like everybody's thing. You get me? So the way we are familiar with EVMs, right? And these are like other chains on the Cosmos blockchain. So the way you write when you write your Solidity program, you can use it on other EVM networks, right? Basically. So this is the same thing. We have too many chains and where's Zion? Ha. Yes, this is Zion, belongs to the Cosmos family. So to interact with or to like use Zion, you get to write the Cosmos Wasm smart contract. So Cosmos Wasm stands for Cosmos WebAssembly, and it's written in Rust. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, basically, I think you people already have a knowledge of Rust. I remember I saw the calendar and then you guys were supposed to take Rust sometime. So basically, if you are familiar with Rust, writing customizing would not be a problem. We'll get into that soon. Okay, so Zion uses the customer SDK to build, and IBC Zion is compliant to like the IBC protocol. So that means Zion can communicate with other chains and other networks. Okay, so yes, Zion currently use Comet GFT, known as Tendermint, and it's like the proof of stake, right? And secures. So basically, this is Zion main consensus, and I think you guys are already familiar with those terminologies, so we'll not be going into that. There is something, yes. So Web3 for Web2 developers. Let's start from here. Okay, as a developer transitioning from Web2 to Web3, one of the most important things is to understand how the application architecture changes. So that in your Web2, you get to have like a backend. This is it. Thank God, this is table. Laravel, Express, Django, and then when you're building with Zion, doesn't matter smart contract. Basically, you don't you take the needs of databases away and then move to the on-chain contract stage. The authentication is wallet-based or smart contract accounts. Your front end, same thing. Your hosting, traditional web hosting, Render, AWS, Azure, Heroku, and the likes. Hosting is currently for the front end. You use your vessel when it comes to design blockchain and all that. I think you guys are familiar with all this thing, right? So, but yeah, architectural mindset shift. Sorry. In Web2 you control everything, but in Web3 the blockchain becomes your backend. And I think we are familiar with this, right? Your data is public by default when it's on blockchain. Users are in control, no centralized accounts and all that. Logic is deterministic and immutable. So your smart contract stores the business logic of your DR and run exactly as written. I have a joke. A smart contract that does not serve its purpose is a dull contract. So, the smart contract has to serve its purpose. I think all this. Okay, yes. Common misconceptions and supply the two patterns. So misconception, I need a backend server to run my DR. In Web2, your backend is the heart of your application. In Web3, business logic is in the customers and smart contract. I've stored my user data in Firebase, like MySQL. I've stored my user data in database, like MySQL and all that. The need for that is taken away when it comes to Web3. Users should, common misconception also, users should register with email and password. In the Web3 ecosystem, on the Web3 flow, wallets are identity. So wallet address serves as the user. Authentication is done through message signing and all that. And then Zion has to do with abstraction library and whatnot. Okay. So now what could you build or use with this what's it called now? With this little or few introduction to Zion, right? I believe that we already have common applications in our mind that we want to build or projects that we're currently working on, right? Now that you see that Zion is simplify things for you, right? What kind of service do you think you'll be able to build with Zion that you might actually use? It's an open discussion. And I think we are developers here, right? So shouldn't be yes. So it's an open discussion. Anyone wants to say something? Are you are muted?
Sir,
Say
please, we
something.
didn't get the question. You said what type of what? I didn't get that.
Project or application can you build now that you've seen that Zion aims to simplify life or simplify user experience? What kind of application do you think you can build with Zion
Okay,
that you would
mostly
actually
our D apps are mostly integrated with the use of these wallets and um, and all. And then you said that Zion blockchain in quote is like a no wallet approach. So in
yes.
our D apps, we can actually integrate Zion so that it will be easier for people to have a sense of seamlessness when using these apps, so that they will not be bulked with so much knowledge about Web3 before they can interact with this app. So our D apps, we can actually integrate Zion into it so that it will be seamless. Yeah.
Okay. Any other person? Any other person? Any other person? You have any other thing to say? Um. Okay. So while I take that as a no. So yes, getting started with Zion. So this is where we get to do one or two things. Um. So how many of us have Rust installed on us? Okay. Yes. Take Explorer. You
Yeah, you
raise your hand.
asked a question. So you asked a question. So I wanted to ask about. I was having
Okay. Okay. Shoot.
some.
Shoot.
So I'll just say that some of the kind of app we can build, just like as we have explained. Let me say something like, should I say a social the app? Maybe we'll make it like a decentralized, something like Twitter. It will be like something
Mm,
like a open gated, something that kind of thing, whereby they
okay.
will involve wallets abstraction, where user can post, follow, and comment without needing a seed phrase. Because normally, if
Mm,
they build a feature, they will need a seed phrase. Then there can
yes.
be a better onboarding, like it will feel like Web 2, but it's not actually Web 2, helping like
Mm,
build social decentralized app to gain like broader attraction, that kind of thing.
yeah.
And it will be, able to, should I say, it will be compatible for everyone to come into the system and make use of it.
Mm. Nice. 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 Good one. Good one. I think that's very good. Very, very good. So yeah, before we move on again, any other person has anything to say? So I think you guys are beginning to understand the concept of what Zion follows. And then mind you, let me put this out there. So by abstraction, it doesn't mean that wallet doesn't exist. It doesn't mean that your the Web3, okay. Adibaki, please just give me a minute. It doesn't mean that by abstraction, it doesn't mean that wallet doesn't exist or like your Web3 core logics, right? Doesn't exist. It does, but Zion is abstracting them away. So think about this like your so yes, we are familiar with quoted meditation. Say like your I don't know how many of you have used red and yellow medicines before. Um this tube, this thing, right? Yeah. Right. So basically there's that medicine and then there is anti-malaria. And then I know that everybody eats anti-malaria because of the smell. Well, there is like malaria gel like currently now, but anti-malaria, I don't want to mention brand name because we shouldn't be doing that, right? But when imagine if anti-malaria is coated in red and yellow, how many of us would use it? Like without stress, effortlessly. I will personally use it. I don't know about you. This reaction, this you are like following me. This yes, right? So think of Zion as the red and yellow medicine. So and then with red and yellow, sometimes they sugarcoat some of these medications. So it is easy for you to take it. When you're taking your there is this medication, fish oil or so. There's some medication that you won't even have to. Sorry, I'm discussing medicine here, but I think that's just the best analogy I can bring. Um, so there are some medications that are coated that it will be very easy for you to use without water. You just swallow it. But like I don't think there's anyone that can take anti-malaria without water or even food beside them. So basically, that is what Zion does. The red and yellow abstracts all these things. If you open if you open the red and yellow meditation, right, and then you try to like use the content inside, they are very, very bitter, very, very bitter. But because they are encapsulated, they are in quotes abstracted, it is easy for you to use. So basically, I think that analogy should work when it comes to thinking about how Zion works. So yeah, Adebaki, I think you raised your hand earlier, and then we'll come back to Tech Explorer.
Um, good morning. I'm audible.
Yes. Yeah.
So
You know,
I personally missed you like from the last class. You were using me as an example that very day. Like even created the
was it
wallet.
you?
Yes, now it was me. I changed my profile picture.
Oh, I was looking for you when I joined the class.
Yeah, I changed my profile. So
Okay.
So from everything you've said, basically, what I can depict actually is that okay, Zion solves the connect wallet stuff. Like okay,
Yes.
so now like is that the only solution Zion brings to the Web3 ecosystem? So now let me use for example, like there is this idea me and some of my friends were working on. So it's an e-commerce platform, but it will be built on chain. So we chose building on base for like scalability. So we are trying to do something like this account abstraction, whereby you just have to sign in with your wallet, with your login, your email, whatever password. You don't need, yeah. So you can pay with your fiat currency or your USDT. So we are going to be handling the off ramping and on ramping. So if we can do that in the EVM ecosystem, so I don't see any big deal about now having to come into Zion because of account abstraction because I won't need connect wallets. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like I still
get
don't
you.
that part very well. Like
So my question now is my question to you is have you done that currently?
have we?
Have you done the abstraction that you're
No,
talking
we are still
about?
working on the design actually, but we already have a plan how we are going to go about it. Yeah, we already have our technical documents how we are going to go about it, and it's going to work. Actually, it's going to take like it's kind of technical, complex kind of, but we are still going to like get to that. It's just like going to a junction. You might let's say we are coming to Lagos. If you like, you can go around the whole taxi state. You shall get to Lagos.
Yes.
And somebody can just take a flight. You shall come to Lagos. So
Okay. How do I trying to see how I will explain this to you better? Yes, I like your question, and yeah, it gets to how would I put it? Yeah, it gets to show that different blockchains are also trying to like approach user friendliness, right? So think of it like this. Like you said, you talked about going around the whole city, sorry, going around the whole state and then moving to Lagos and all, right? Um, so yeah, you can take a regular card designed for like manual transition or transmission, sorry, like your normal I think we're familiar with the current CNG thing in Nigeria, right? Yes. So think of it like there's a manual car, right? And then you add one or two features to make it feel a little bit automatic, right? So maybe you're adding like extra clutch or special gear, or maybe a button to like stop the car and all that, right? However, it is different from a car that was designed ground up to be automatic. You feel me? So where the engines, the transmissions, everything are like um, are put in place for you. So basically, other things might have, like you said, you are trying to do abstraction based on all that, right? Other things might do that, but this is like adding a specific automatic feature. Design approach is not just um, chain abstraction, right? We haven't talked about the fact that in Zion, you don't need to pay for gas fee. I think okay, you said you joined late, so but in Zion, you don't need to pay for gas fee. There are sponsored gas fees. And also you can use it on multiple devices. You can use like the D app on multiple devices, which is still like one of the issues when it comes to D apps in blockchain at the moment, right? And what's the word? What's the word? Well, Zion's approach is also tilted towards user experience. So it's Web2 flow, Web2 flow, but Web3. Zion is making sure that nobody thinks about crypto the way crypto is, or you don't get to. So, for example, what's the word? Think about it. Think about it. Okay, yes. I think I shared. Yes, I shared this right to you guys. A normal Web2 user would see sign in and then tries to sign in, and then he sees that login with Google, and then he clicks to Google, and then at the end of the day, he has a wallet. Nobody's telling him to save the seed phrase. Nobody is doing any of this, right? So yeah, exactly. That is what Zion is all about. That is what Zion is tackling. You might do your abstraction, right? But like I said with the car analogy, um, you're trying to make a manual process automated. Meanwhile, there's already an automated process. Does that answer your question?
Actually, I get what you're saying. Like,
Mm.
I can relate this to, let's say, the Web2 space, like guys who are into mobile development. So you can build
Mm.
mobile applications with Flutter or React Native that is going to
Yes.
work on both iOS or Android. But there's
Yes.
something called native, whereby if you use Swift, for example, it means that you are building solely for iOS. Mobile
Mm.
applications built with Swift, they are more like, they are, I can't, how am I going to say, they are more efficient, more faster than applications
You
built
think?
with Flutter or whatever. Yes, because it is native. That's the native language.
Yes.
Like, yes, that's the native language. Yeah, if you build with Swift, like there are some applications that they look for Swift developers to build for them because of the nativeness. Like, I think now the chain abstraction here, for, let's say, for example, what we are trying to do, it is not native to maybe base, but here it is native. It is something inbuilt in your
The
um
application,
yeah,
the process.
your, yes. But in our own case, we have to maybe use a third party library and stuff like that to go around. So it's nice, yeah, I get.
All right. Any other question? Check Explorer. Yes, you said you wanted to say something. You raised your hand earlier. Let's go back to this. Tech Explorer, are you still there? You are muted if you are talking. Hi, Tech Explorer, are you there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there. I don't want to ask any question. The one that I raised that time was the one my hand was up since I said asking.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So yeah, getting started. To so we might not we have about 30 minutes, right? We might not go into because I still have two more sessions with you guys, right? So subsequent sessions we would be dealing with hands-on development, basically. So we're talking about building at the end of the day, the goal is to make sure that we build a unified project together on stream like this. We need to find an idea. Let's think about something. What do you think we could build? Yes, shoot.
Unless
That-
you pick a wallet, a dApp.
well, we're building a DApp, but what DApp? That is my own question. I think you said wallet. Any other? Okay, let's take it further.
Uh, what I want to ask is, does Zion support EVM compatibility or like bridging with EVM chains?
Yes. Let me see. I think they do. I've come in. How do you realize? No, no. There's somewhere. Yeah. Yes. So, does this solve your question? I'm sorry. Does this answer your question?
I think what it meant is that maybe can you use a contract written in Zion on
Oh
the
no,
blockchain,
no,
or
no, no, no,
maybe
no, no. I said earlier that Zion contract or Cosmosm is can only be used within the Cosmos directory. The way your Solidity code can be used across EVM chains, right? So basically, when you write a Cosmosm contract, you can use it with Noble as well as Noble. Noble is just one of the guys pushing USDC. Then there's Osmosis. Um, yeah, Noble. So can use your contract across. There's Juno. Let me see. Yes, there's Juno and all that. So basically, your Cosmos contract can only be used in within the Cosmos directory. Does that answer your question?
I can't see your screen. I'm not even seeing your screen.
It's probably network. Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, sir. We are serious.
Can you see my screen? Like send a
Yeah.
reaction. Just take a picture. It's probably your network. So you get me. All right. I was asking a question. Yes, I was asking what do you think we could do? It's going to be very mini and then very basic, but I'm going to be
can we
doing
build
some
something like, do you know this platform called Fundable? They are building on Stacknet, whereby you
fun.
can, let's say you want to, Fundable, yes, whereby let's say you want to batch, you want to send token like to multiple people. You can just something like a airdrop, CX sender or something like that.
Let me see. Is this it? First and foremost. Adibaki.
Yeah, I don't think this is like, I don't think, but it's built on Stacknet. Like, let me check on Twitter. Like,
Okay. You don't have to build something that would because we have time limits for this thing. So but send me check check it and then drop it in the chat. Let's see what Johnson says wallet. Who else? Who else? Who else? Who else? Um, who else? 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 Tech Explorer, do you have anything in mind?
I
All
didn't.
right.
What do you ask? I didn't hear you.
So I said we have two more sessions, right? So our last session we're going to be building a project on Zion. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm like, do you have an idea of what we could build? If I'm automated payments in it, maybe
Let me think. Let me just think now.
okay. Personally, I think we could probably do a vote that after one or two what's the word? After one or two interactions or something, it's disbursed funds to wallet addresses, or we end up building a centralized exchange, not too. I know now. Waiting with the Nigeria will see at the back. Obed.
Okay, I suggest that we build some sort of a place where the user can come in and register and make purchase, so that we kind of know how Xion Exchange have been, like how they handle some sort of a business, let's say business logic or something like that.
Mm. Okay,
Yeah,
so that
some
was
sort of something like a marketplace, a mini marketplace.
mini marketplace. Mm.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think I agree with Obed, so that we can do something like maybe token or NFT. When the user purchase something and make payment, maybe we can reward the user with either NFT or our token of the platform. I think that idea will go, so that we'll just learn how to create token and NFTs on Xion also.
Okay. So let me put this there. Creating tokens on Xion is easy as possible. Where is it? Okay. Yes. So there's something called the token factory, right? So this is, let's read this. CW token standard. So the CW20 token standard is analogous to Ethereum ERC20. I think you guys are familiar with ERC20, right? Where developers must declare and instantiate a CW20 contract, integrate CW20 token contracts, and all that. But with the token factory, I think you just need one line of command to create the same way I created the wallet for Adeback in last class, right? Let me see if I even still have the wallet. It's also the same way you can create a token on Xion. And the difference between token factory and then CW20 token, similar to ERC20 token, is this. Most of the core logics to create the tokens are handled by token factory. So yes, this is even the comparison. Yes, with token factory, there's simplicity and all that, right? And yes, perfect. This is what I'm looking for. With CW20, requires writing and then deploying contract for token creation. While token is created via a simple transaction, utilizing the bank. So I'll look for, there's supposed to be that command, Zion D command. I'll look for it. It's not here anymore. Uh, I'll look for it. And then so if you can see my screen, basically these are like the advantage and disadvantage of using either the token factory or CW20 token. So whatever the case might be, we might venture into this, create our own tokens and then whatnot. And then another thing is, okay, before we move to contract. Yep, yes, yes, yes. So there's something called treasury contract, right? And then remember I talked about sponsored gas fee. So your treasury contract handles all these things. Okay, so basically, uh, another yes, shoot, that's a clear.
What I was trying, I've gotten an ID, but the one they said previously is good. But I was just thinking of this. Can we build something like a decentralized, maybe the network whereby talented people like will prove, like it will be an interface where they can prove their skills through tax NFTs. Like you'll be offering them NFT like to prove their skill and to build a verified reputation tied to their wallets in the network.
All of you want us to build startup in one class. Yeah, now. Oh, your love.
Yes, we won't be like you now, sir. Sanua won't be like you.
No be like
We
me. Oh.
won't be founder, so that you go be the founder who will be co-founder one time for Zion.
I like that. Okay, see this. Let's create the marketplace. Let me copy this. Paste in my notepad. Oh, all right. Um, so I was talking about treasury contracts. Basically, the work of treasury contracts is. Can I explain? I want to say something. I want to raise. Okay. So basically, the work of the treasury contract is just let me put it this way. You know, you need to sign transactions, right? When you're doing when you're dealing with the Web3 space, say you want to like to buy NFTs, you're signing transactions and all that. So the work of treasury contracts is it acts like the grantor. So it does like the whole execution for you. Meanwhile, um, it also makes sure that when signing this transaction, right, gas fees are allocated to the right account. Um, so when we get to, I'll talk about moving. I'll talk about setting up your environment. So for the next class, we're going to start hands-on development. So probably going to be from the front end, and then we'll move to the smart contract side of things, or we start with the smart contract side of things, and then we'll move to the front end. So with the front end, I mean, Zion has with Zion abstraction library, you can do the whole, it solves the whole logging in and all that, right? So we'll probably be dealing with it. How many of us are good like with React or
I beg
Vue.js or
Next.js.
Next.js? Next.js is popular.
Next.js, I beg.
Next.js is popular. Yeah, Next.js is also what the abstraction library support. So I just wanted to ask. So when it's time for the class, we'll be assigning roles to each other. Who will be doing what and then what will be doing what. So it doesn't because if I'm the only one that writes the if I write all the code, I'll only get stuck up. Deal or no deal.
What did you say? What did you say? I can't hear you.
So I said next class we'll be assigning roles to each other, right? So who would handle the front end, who would do the smart contract. We're going to work like a team next class. Except if you want me to write the code from scratch. So if I'm writing the code from scratch, that means I'm the only one that wants to complete. Yes or no, deal or no deal. So let's get it started. So yes, this is my treasury contract, and then when you create a treasury contract, you would need one or two things, but I'll get back to that. This is my treasury contract address, and this is my admin address. This admin address is my account that I created with Google when I was trying to create a Zion account. So this is it here. Oh my god. Sorry. In my network is okay. Why did you log me out? Ah, sorry. Yes, this is my wallet address, and I can we'll talk about requesting funds and all later. So because I have that account set up already, this is my wallet. This is my own identity. Hence, my treasury contract, this is the admin. So I don't know if it makes sense to you. If you want me to clarify, and raise up your hand. Um, so basically, it is like when you're submitting a form, right? On here, yes, basically when you're posting something on Twitter, for example, now, and you're signed in, right? It allocates that post or that tweet to you. So basically, it's allocating this treasury contract to my own address. And then this address is like what I'll be using when it comes to dealing with Zion blockchain. I do not need to set up wallet from Kepler or what's it called, Phantom every time I need to use the Zion blockchain, which I think we've passed through that. We've gone through that already. So yeah, this is my Zion. Sorry, this Zion address here is my treasury contract address, and this is allowance and all that. So basically, with this guy, then I have a contract address that I can use. Hold on. Okay, go back first. Let's see. And let's talk about my balance. So this is the balance, right? This is my current balance for my treasury contract. So whenever whenever my users, are interacting with my application, with whereby I already have the treasury contract address, just my contract address and everything in place, in code, right? Whenever they are trying to use the application, say to buy NFTs or whatnot, this is where the gas fee will be deducted from. Am I making sense? So sponsored gas fee, this is where it comes from. Signing transactions, this is where it comes from, and all that. So
Okay, please, can I ask a question?
of course.
So initially you said transactions are gasless, like on Zion.
Yes.
Like I like that. So now you are saying the gas is coming from the treasury account.
Yes.
How? I don't know the correlation between that.
I spoke about abstraction, right? On mute, let's have an interaction.
Yeah. You said that. You talked about abstraction.
Okay. I spoke about abstraction, but I didn't tell you that. Okay, when I was explaining about abstraction, I didn't say it doesn't exist. All I said was it is encapsulated.
Okay.
Yes. And then gas fees, as we all know, are like
What you
what's the
pay the
word now? Yes, what you pay the validators, basically. Sure you get. And then no blockchain runs without this. But the purpose of this in Zion is to make sure that your users don't end up paying gas fees.
Okay.
Are you with me?
Yeah,
And you can set a limit as to how much you want your treasury account to your treasury contract to like pay for gas fees. So maybe when it uses that limit finish, whatever you want to do, basically. But the whole abstraction process, when we come to setting up things on the front end, you would very good. So you not design your okay, yes. Basically this is everything, right? Open the server, join. So this is using a demo contract. So the contract is a counter project, right? Now he already has so says follow the guides like get your contract and all that. Assume you've deployed your contract, step to deploy a treasury contract for gasless transactions, right? Sign up to design developer portal, click on new treasury, create new treasury contract and all that. Select the appropriate message. So for example, let's do this. Two grants, basic allowance, this so for example, I can what's the word? I can determine what the treasury contract should do. Are you with me?
Yeah.
I can decide that it executes a contract or it instantiates a contract and whatnot. Supposed to have a contract address. So yes, basic allowance, allowed message allowance, periodic allowance. So most times you're likely going to be using basic allowance. Basic allowance like covers or sums up everything. Allowed message allowance. So for example, if you only want your contract to do things like so maybe when you're trying to migrate a contract or something, right? And then these are like few things you want to do. So message transfer between IBC protocols and whatnot. But to save you from decisions, right? Just go with basic allowance. So you wanted to say something, sorry.
So Um, let me see if I will mess up. So now, okay, he said it is gasless. So now we are not talking about the treasury contract. So
Account, yes.
in a layman's understanding, because
Then yes.
so you are saying, okay, let's say I'm building a DApp whereby
Mm.
let's say users are going to be making transactions and normally they
Yes.
ought to pay gas fee,
That's
but
true.
now
Yes.
they are not going to be paying. So now you are
Mm.
telling me that I'm building my DApp on one side. I have
Yes.
to I have to deploy a treasury, what's this thing? Is it
Contract.
treasury account
Yes.
or treasury contract?
Yes.
So the treasury contract will be what I will be using paying the gas fee. But then
Yes.
on the other hand, I can also say, okay, let's say on every $100 as a user you
Mm.
want to transact, you are not going to be
Mm.
paying gas. But once it
Yes.
exceeds $100, you are going to
You
pay.
can.
Is that what you
Mm.
mean?
Anything you want to do, yes.
Okay, okay,
But
I
most
get.
times, most likely, when you deploy a project on Zion mainnet, right, the Zion Foundation can help you with funding your treasury contract.
Like that's the question. That's what I'm going coming to now. Like, how am I
Yes.
going to fund the treasury contract? Like,
For testnet, you use the faucet to fund your treasury contract.
but for mainnet, I have to fund
Yes.
it. Wonderful.
Johnson, you're raising your hand. You're muted if you're talking, sorry.
So
Mm,
I have one more observation. Like, Zion
should.
ecosystem. Like, I love the idea. It makes sense. But one thing in Web3 is that there are not enough resources for developers to learn. Kind of.
Yes.
I think
Mm,
Solidity is kind of trying these days. Most of the
mhm.
materials available even in Ethereum in Solidity, they are very obsolete, very old. Like,
Yes.
so what is Zion doing in that regard? Like,
Aspects.
to make,
So,
yes, in that aspect, in terms of maybe base camp, Starknet is doing a lot. Like, there's a lot of base camp, boot camp, whatever. What
mm,
Zion also doing in that regard? Because we can't just say we want to be
absolutely.
reading documentation alone.
Yes. So currently there are. Wait, Johnson. Okay, shoot first. You were raising hand earlier.
Okay, no, so I can answer him first before I ask because
All
that
right.
that question he asked is very, very important.
All right. So how is Zion? Um, how is Zion? What's the word again? Bringing, making sure that you can access resources. Is that the summary of your question, right? Um, so basically, on the documentation currently, they have most of um, existing contracts that you can work with as a developer or as a newbie into design ecosystem. So when you want to deal with things like NFTs, marketplace, multi-sig, governance, vaults, and everything, so they are like the existing contracts that you can use, right? So and then most of these contracts are audited already. So by audited, it means some projects on Xion Blockchain on mainnet are making use of this contract. So it makes life easy for you as a developer when you're trying to um, write your contract and deploy your contract and all that. And then also, aside this, the Zion team, Zion Global, Zion Nigeria, are currently looking forward to helping developers build on Zion. And then by that, I mean, when you have a project currently and you want to build on Zion, Zion team will and give you hands-on devs to work on your project with you for free. So if you, for example, let's assume we want to push this application and we're going to be building in the next classes, right? Um, we can contact the Zion team or contact the Zion Nigerian team, and then they get us one or two developers, be it your front end, be it your back end, be it smart contract, whatever you need for you to be able to push projects on Zion, they're going to get it to you for free. Um, does that answer your question? Or you want me to like clarify?
I think you've answered to the best of your ability. Yes. So I'm
What do you mean
pusher.
to the depth of my ability?
No, what I basically mean is that like not everybody can read documentation. Like not not like all this documentation that you be seeing verbose grammar. Like not everybody
No,
can
so here's the thing.
put
The
it
funny
well.
thing about the documentation is um having interacted with some couple of developers, right, for the past 2 3 months, right, design documentation is not doing all this Web3 grammar thing, whereby you are doing banking on bank or what. No, you're not going to see all these things there. You are not going to see all these things there. And funny thing is, as at last class, if you could remember, this documentation was never as what's the word now, as equipped as last time. Last
Actually,
time
I've seen
we
some new things there because I went to the
yes,
documentation. I wasn't seeing something.
yes, yes. So every time we're always making sure that we are adding to the documentation to make sure that users can understand. For example, if you are trying to build with the mobile, you're trying to build a mobile app and it has to be a D app, right? Using design abstraction and all that, there is a concept you can follow. For example, this is a mobile D app, and then setting up your account, setting up your environment and all that. Zion is like making sure that we make life easier for devs. If you go through the documentation, you hardly will you see anything that has to do with Web3 grammars or Web3 jargons. Just making life easier for you. And then there's, as a developer, your primary purpose or your sole thing to do when you're working on the project is to read documentation. Take it or leave it. When you want to integrate Paystack, you just use your head or like go somewhere. No, right? You need to read out documentation because documentation changes every time. There's always a new thing. There's always a bug fix and all that, right? So you need the documentation. When you start writing Python or you start writing Next.js, for example, right? The tutorial you watched or even the class you had or whatsoever came from the documentation. As a developer, when you're pushing your project outside, you also need to put out documentation. So if you're a developer and you say you don't read documentation, the question is your ability. Are you even a developer in the first place? Except you're a vibe coder. So as vibe coders, do whatever you want to do, go with the flow and all that. But as a developer, documentation is crucial at the end of the day. Articles will be putting out will be coming out soon, different things. But at the end of the day, they all boil down back to documentation. When you read things from Medium, when you read articles on Medium, you read one or two things, right? It comes back to the documentation. So if we do not need people to read to access documentation, there wouldn't be need for the documentation in the first place, right? So basically, documentation is needed. So as a developer, you need to check these things out. So imagine you are a mobile developer, right? And then you want to build on Zion. So are you going to tell me that you wouldn't check the documentation? Whereas this is also a new blockchain. Am I making
Act-
sense?
I actually understand. Like I'm not
Mm.
talking per se for me. I'm
Okay.
just more about I love what Zion is actually doing, but to
Yes.
onboard more developers,
Yes.
think about it. Starknet also have a documentation, like a
Yes.
very well detailed. But there's this Starknet base camp they do every year. Starknet Africa organizes. There's Blockfuse Labs and all of them just to onboard
Mm.
users to make it easy. Let me tell you, like Web2 is more easier than Web3, and I have a
Yes.
lot of like mentees who will tell me that they cannot read the documentation. They cannot even watch tutorial themselves and understand. They want someone to teach them physically. There are a lot of developers like
Oh, are
that.
you talking about that? If you are talking about that, there are things being put in place at the moment. I think the Zion team should announce something subsequently about onboarding developers, right? So if you are talking about that, then we have in-house hackathons to do. We have what is it called? There's I can't remember. I spoke with Dr. Silverstone earlier. Jesus. We are trying to do something similar to what you said, right? Whereby we get to like bring people on board and then kind of act or like write codes, like teach them how these things work. Like you said, some people don't want to read documentation, right? Fair. But at the end of the day, we would also be working with the documentation. So that's one of the things we're also going to teach developers because mentees, mentors, whatever it is, whatever the case might be, even Blockfuse labs and all that, at the end of the day, they are working from something, right? They're working from documentation. And to be a great dev, you need to read documentation. Take it or leave it. You might not like it at first, but at the end of the day, documentation is what documentation is where everything goes back. Because you can't know it more than you can't know the concept more than the owner or the team that built the project.
Okay. Nice.
Johnson.
Okay, sorry, sir. My question is just about that. Is he account admin or account one that is doing the payment as a developer? My concern there is that you said, because if we may understand you, we coming from Ethereum background, anything, in fact, general blockchain, anything you are doing, we is not the contract address that is paying the gas fee. So, but then if you are saying Xion blockchain is giving us this treasury account to settle all transaction, let's say for instance, I create an NFT contract address and I deploy it. Let's say the user buys the NFT or mints the NFT and we pay for the gas fee. But if that other user wants to send the NFT to another wallet, so does it mean the contract is still going to pay the gas fee or what? Because we are really confused.
So send it to another wallet in the D app, or what do you mean?
No. Like apart from the D app, that we develop, like he wants to send it out to another user. So is it the contract address that we integrate that is still going to handle the gas fee or what? Because we are really kind of confused here.
I think you are the one. You're not getting me. You built a project, you have a D app, right? And then transactions in your D app are sponsored, right?
Yeah.
So are you now telling me that when your users now want to like run transactions outside your D app, there is the smart contract, the treasury contract covers the gas fee? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to talk about here.
Outside your D app, at the end of the day, sending funds from one wallet to another is also a D app.
Okay.
Right. So yes, thinking about it, for example, your connection between your MetaMask or whatever, and then OpenSea. OpenSea is a D app.
Yeah.
Okay. Your MetaMask, your Meta wallet address is also a D app.
Yeah.
Right. So in OpenSea, for example, there's something we have in Zion called Talis Art. So it's similar to like the OpenSea of what's it called now? Ethereum, right? Transactions on Talis app, say minting an NFT or whatever, is sponsored. So now when, for example, say I already minted I already minted the NFT, right? And then maybe I want to like send it to somebody or something, or it could even be tokens that I want to send to somebody from my own wallet. Everything is sponsored, but not from your own end. Your own end is your application. Anything outside your application, the next guy also has to, or the next guy should have integrated treasury contract by that time. Am I making sense? So, for example, if I own a wallet, I own MetaMask, right? And then let's give it a name, say Zion Wallet, for example. I'm going to make sure that transactions in Zion Wallet are sponsored, right? And then now when that user is trying to use your own project, say Johnson NFTs and Sons Company, right? You are going to make sure that your DR
Joshua, we can't hear you again. I don't know.
Johnson, I think what he's actually saying is that have you your question, I think what you are trying to ask is that like any transaction that has to do with maybe from your own DApp, like someone is trying to send from your own DApp to another wallet outside, like is the treasury contract going to cover the gas fee, Shebi?
Yeah, yeah. That's
And
what
I
I'm
don't
saying.
think so. I don't think so. Like I think the user will have to cover by himself.
Yeah, because that's what I want to really understand. Because in my own DAB, I know that anything is going to perform, I'm going to cover the gas fee. But now, when it comes to sending outside,
The person
am
will
I
have to
still?
cover by the person will have to cover by himself.
Sorry, my network went off. I'm back.
Okay, okay.
Should I have I been able to answer your question? Or
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But you know, we that is big business tech guru. How are we going to make money if if everything is being covered by Zion? Like those
if
guys feel
everything is
like,
covered by Zion.
yeah.
But gas fee,
Johnson,
gas fee is not your own money. Gas fee is not your own money. Oh.
Yeah, we know. Gas fee is not our own money,
Mm,
but
you
like
could
some
do,
kind stores want to add fees to some kind
yes,
stores.
you can. You have business models. One of the fun thing of building on Zion, right, is at the moment, if you have solid projects and then Zion Foundation, we try to make sure that we onboard applications into an accelerator program, right? And I think we're familiar with accelerator programs. We get to like teach you how to do things from the business end and all that, and then push your project to you get to mainnet. Mind you, all these things also are what's the word now? Are sponsored. So your PR for your application and all this things, design team is going to like cover it. So it's like think of it like you are in YC. I think we're familiar with YC, right? So think of it like you are in YC. You get funded to like build your application, right? And then sometimes YC covers you for, your PRs for you. And then in fact, the name itself, YC on your application, like is something. So basically, the Zion Accelerator program is making sure that we onboard clean Web3 projects, Web2 moving to Web3 or whatsoever, but as long as your project idea is good and fundable and also VC backable, they are going to take you from zero to euro. And then in all aspects, the media aspect, the tech aspect, what think about anything you want to do as for your application. Design team is going to be there with you from like scratch, from A to Z. And I think I said it earlier that would design Nigerian team would also give you developers to like work with, or what's the word, designers, whatnot, whatever you are thinking of, or whatever might be the order for you when building application. Design team is going to cover all these things. So in the process of you doing maybe taking the course or taking not a course because you're going to what's the word now? I would answer you, Emerson. So in the process of you being in the accelerator program, they're going to talk about business logics and all that. And at the end of the day, the sole purpose of business is to do what? To make money, right? There's nothing like, let's be very frank, there's nothing like changing the world. So your purpose is to make money at the end of the day. You can't change. What do you mean by changing the world? Where will I not stay to change the world? So basically, that's it. Emerson.
Yes, boss. So I'm very curious because you mentioned that when you're building your ideas, the
Yes,
Zion team is open to assisting you with whatever
yes,
technical needs you may have. And
yes,
sometimes some of us are not
mm,
just technical hands, but we have business background. So is it that
yes.
it's something that comes at a cost, or it's just
No, I said it's
more
free.
like it's free, serving as a springboard for developers to deliver on time?
I sorry, I don't get you.
No, I think you answered me. You said it's free. I was just trying to know if it was free
Okay,
or it
okay,
was
okay.
just
Yes,
like an
it is.
idea that helps to accelerate
No, no,
the
not
production
just an
time.
idea.
Yeah.
Not just an idea. It's something that they've been doing from uh time immemorial. Because I think Zion is like 2, 3 years in the market now. And if you remember, I showed you guys Zion Market, right? And
Yeah,
then Zion Market is one of like the major projects on Zion. And guess what? Built by Nigerians, right? And
that's
then
cool. That's cool.
yes, um, there is also I can't remember what's the name. Zeka, is it Zeka node or so? ZKTLS project for human verification built by Nigerians also. Couple of projects, Loop, a music app built by Nigerians, and then these projects are like doing well. And then funny thing is, the Zion Foundation like were with these projects from like scratch, right? So that's I don't know. I think I've answered your question, right? Any other question? Any other?
Yeah. But what's your grant like? Is that
What's the grant like? So it depends on what you are building, right? Um, how would I put this? So yes, at the end of the day, if Zion dresses your project up, right, they link you up with some of their investors. Let me show you. I think you guys are familiar with Circle, one of the big boys pushing USDC, right? So yes, these are kind of projects that uh, Zion Foundation will link you up with. Let me see. I think they're supposed to be. This is Zion.com or sorry. Um, um, where is it? Um, sorry. Let's check. Yes, Zion.com. Exactly. Um, so these are some of the projects that or partners that they are currently with. Checkout.com. NOS is also one of the projects, but not by Nigerians. I think by some guys in um, this Asia also. And then NOS has raised $5 million since they launched on mainnet, and NOS is yes, NOS has partnered with companies like Uber and Amazon. Yes, correct, and then many more. So these are things like Zion Foundation will bring you to. So you're not just going to be building for building sake. You are building a business at the end of the day. Are you with me? So
Yeah,
that's
this is
Blockheads
amazing. This
just
is awesome.
announced.
This is awesome.
Yes, Blockheads just announced mainnet 2 weeks ago. So and then um personally, I my team worked on Blockheads gaming. So these are things that we have. Yeah, Cardo money. This Cardo money just got acquired by Swap.com. So there is it's not just Carloview. Carloview, well, interesting. Carloview is also, I think when Carloview came to, yes, Carloview was in Kaduna. I think Fitech is in Kaduna, right? Am I
Yeah,
correct? Yes.
Kaluvi
So the
was
last time we came
at
to,
that
yes,
fintech event. Yeah.
yes. So last time we were in Kaduna, Carloview is a Nigerian, so he was also present that day. So these are like projects that have launched already on Zion Chain and currently doing good for themselves. So note that Zion is going to like support you from scratch. Any other thing? Any other question? Any other time is fast spent. Shoot. Yes.
Okay, sir, please, my last question is that because now
Mm.
we are familiar with you, we've even met at Kaduna, but we want to
Yeah.
ask also for advice because you are the one at the head in Zion, mostly in Nigeria and Zion. So we want to ask,
Yes.
what are like the kind of like the project that can fund faster that you can advise us to build or something like that, or ways to scale through?
So this particular question you asked was what we asked the team, right? And then what they told us was, I mean, by the team I mean like the Zion global team, right? Um, what they want is they need to make sure that they want projects that have good team structure, right? And then a clear pattern on what they are doing. So irrespective of whatever you are building, right? Anything you are building, the Zion team is not, we're not uh what's the English now? We are not stigmatizing projects, no. But as long as your project is sound and then you kind of have a clear path as to what your project will achieve, then we're good to go. For example, cardon money is similar to what's the word now? Stripe, basically, just payments handling and all that. But then Zion project pushed it. And meanwhile, we have like multiple payments solution everywhere. So it depends on how your team structure is, what your team can do, and then what you've done so far and all that, right? So these are like the things. But like moving forward, there might be tweaks to the model, right? To how we accept project and all that. But for now, good team structure, good what's the word now? Good roadmap as to what you are building and then how you can scale and all that. So that's just the basic thing. And then if funny thing is, you can reach out to me, definitely not on Twitter, but maybe on Telegram. Um, you can reach out to Dr. Silverstone, you can reach out to any one of the what's it called now? Any one of um guys involved in Zion Nigeria, and then everybody's open to like building, they're open to like meeting new developers, and then in fact that's what we want. We want new developers, we want new projects on board on Zion chain. All right. Any other question, any addition, any subtraction? Uh, who's going to share the grace? What's any other thing we're going to be talking about? Any other thing I've not touched? Um, okay, I think
Is it going to be like
eh?
the language for writing on design? Is it
Yes.
Rust, like
Yes,
basically
Ross.
Rust or
Yes,
Sharp?
basically when you're writing your what's it called? Um I know JavaScript is messed up, but at the end of the day, when you're writing JavaScript, right? Maybe you're dealing with a JavaScript framework. At the end of the day, you're writing JavaScript, right? I would
Yeah.
have used JavaScript is popular. But for example, if you are dealing with Python now, from your knowledge of Python basics, you should be able to interact with Django, Flask, and then some couple of other projects, right? So basically, that's just it. If you are sound with Rust, or if you understand Rust a little bit, fine. Up on Cosmo.
No, you don't understand. I think you don't get what I'm saying. Like, is Rust the native language, or you guys have your own
Yes.
language
No.
modeled
Rust.
on Rust? Like
Rust.
what the
Yes.
Starknet guys are doing, is that the model that they are doing. They are writing Cairo, they are telling us that it looks like Rust.
Mm.
They are doing
Mm.
like, is it natively Rust? Like, are you going to be writing Rust syntax, or you have your own language but it looks like Rust?
No, Rust syntax, but like the framework is Cosmo. The same way as
Okay,
Anchor.
okay, you have your framework, but you will be writing Rust. So now I get.
Mm. Cosmo. And then, like I said, Cosmo can be used across chains, on the Cosmos directory. So similar to like Solidity is a language of itself, but I
But
think most of these
you
projects
use
use
Foundry
Rust.
now.
Eh?
In EVM, you use Foundry as the dev tool, but the Solidity is the
Yes.
language.
Yes. Mm. Exactly. Exactly. Um, I think that is all about that. Full stop to today's session. So I hope that by next session we're just going to be working, not talking anymore. And then I also hope that it's interactive like this. And I'm not going to lie, I enjoyed today's session. I'm not going to lie. And then I like the fact that you guys were drilling, and I also like the fact that I was able to answer most of your questions. And I hope that next class we could do something beautiful. So for next class, we'll be working with I think yeah, we'll be starting with front end side to things, and then also the smart present present side to things like the contract. And then our third class will now be when how do we build the application. Is that fine by everyone? All right. Adebakin, can you sign us out? You guys watch YouTube now? Play the trailer. Watch Beta Squad or what are these guys? NGL. Play the trailer. All right.
I don't watch.
You you don't watch them. Oh, all right. No problem then. All right, guys. Later. Manuel. Sorry, George Stephen is not. Yes, George Stephen. Anyhow, it is. All right. See you guys next class. Bye bye. Enjoy the rest of your
Bye
week
bye.
and stay safe.
Help,
Bye bye.
help us greet your babe.
Bro, this class is recorded. For crying out loud. For crying out loud. Right? Oh my god. All right, guys.